Hey guys, so it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts. And if you are watching this archived, feel free to zoom past about the first 12 minutes or so because we will be beginning promptly at 6:05. So I know there are some of you that just don't like to watch the beginning, but the ones that are here on a weekly basis that are starting a community of crafters in the live chat, we like to recognize those people that show up and just have fun chatting for a few minutes because I don't get to do a whole lot of chatting, and sometimes I miss your questions and things in the live chat. So this is my chance to get to know you guys and to interact with you a little bit, and we'll be doing a little bit of that if you're new to my channel while I do the live stream. We're working with borders today, and I entitled it Exploring Borders because we're not using them solely just as borders on the side of a paper and that's it. We'll be looking at all kinds of different things you can do with borders today. So we're going to give everybody plenty of time to get in. We've got about 7 minutes left or so. No, I'm sorry, we have more than that, like 12 minutes maybe. I don't know what clock I'm looking at. And we've got a couple of moderators that should be here with us tonight. They will show up in blue in case you're new to the live chat. If you're watching us archived, I do. Oh, you know what? If I put my hand right here, you guys can see the little koala bear that is on my channel. That and it's I know it's legged for me and you. So as soon as I get my hand to stay there, you'll be able to see him. He's right there. He's right there on my hand, the little black koala bear. I want to make him white. I just haven't gotten around to it. But he's there in the corner, really super cute. Really fun idea. So hello Michelle, thanks for coming, and Jennifer and Destiny. We're going to be doing borders tonight. I'm giving people a chance to get in here, and it's going to be really cool. We're not just going to take punches and just straight out make borders and that's it. We're going to do some fun stuff with it, maybe create a couple of cards. I always have grandiose ideas of what I want to give to you guys, is, so that you get something out of each stream, and an hour just seems to never be enough time to get it all in there. Hello, Nat. Thanks for coming. So if you are new to my live stream, if you're new to my channel, I'd welcome you to subscribe, of course, but also we have a group over at Facebook where a lot of us hang out. We have, hi Victorian, and hey Penny, and Greta. Oh my gosh, so hearts to the one that got in. Greta says, hello Jen, this is the first time I actually was able to catch you live. Yay! Hi Vicki. We have a group over at Facebook called Quality Crafts. And one of my moderators, I think, who is Michelle's here first, she could type that in for us. It sounds like quality, like something that's good and, well made, but it's actually the Bear Koala Tea Crafts. So I just want to make that clear so that everyone can find their way over there who wants to. We are a no drama, no commitment group with swaps and weekly challenges. So every week I do a challenge. We have a challenge that runs from Sunday to Sunday, and I do a live stream for that. So in case you're lost and you're like, I don't know how to do that, just join me here on the YouTube. I'll show you how to do the technique, and then you just go ahead and make one, take a picture, and put it into that album over at Facebook, at the Quality Crafts on Facebook, and then maybe you'll be a winner for that week. The other one that we have, if you want to have your 5 minutes of fame or you want to be put on social media a little bit more, we're willing to put one lucky winner on the blog every week from our Friday to Friday challenge. So you're going to want to get on that. That's called the Friday Freebie Challenge. We put out a plethora of freebies. Monica Vasquez does that. And then we encourage you to use the freebies, but we know a lot of people can't print. So if you can't print, yay, Gretchen made it. Hard for you. If you can't print, then make whatever you want following the theme for the Friday Freebies Challenge. Take a picture of that and send it to Michelle Calvert. Don't put that in a folder because that's an anonymous one. We all get to vote for our favorite one. Everyone gets one vote, and that happens on the weekend, and then a winner gets drawn on Monday. There we go. Michelle put it out. It says Quality Crafts on Facebook. We have 914 members. Yay! We hit 900 this week. I'm so excited. Cheers, everybody that showed up. Welcome. Now, if you're new to my channel or you just got here and you're like, oh, well, I'm not really sure, why is nothing happening? Why is she not making anything? That is because my live streams technically start at 6. And I have a lot of people who have a hard time getting in by 6 if I start then, obviously. It takes them a few more minutes to be able to get all of the technology so that everyone's in and actually live and seeing me. So to prevent everyone from missing the first 5 minutes and going, oh, we don't really know what you're talking about, we missed the whole beginning, I don't start until 6:05. Now on Sundays, my live stream is always, cheers, my live stream is always 2 to 3 p.m., which means we start at 2:05. So I think the more people start coming in, the more people we get in the chat, the more used to that kind of schedule that you'll get. So this week, the Friday to Friday challenge, which ends tomorrow at midnight, and a new one starts tomorrow, is green and gold. Anything green and gold, a project with green and gold on it. Hi, Jocelyn. Hi, Wendy. So we've got about 7 minutes left. Penny says, I'm now stuck on making my own paper with distressed inks. I love making my own paper and background stuff. That's so fun. This is an example of some of the border punches that I actually do have. And I'm going to flip through this whole thing. This is how I remind myself what I do have in my stash so I don't forget what I have. And I know I've added a few since then that I haven't put on here, but this was something that I took on one day. And we're going to get through this, but I want to wait till everyone's had a chance to get in. So we're going to give everyone just a few more minutes. So I'm trying to catch up on a little bit of what's going on in the live chat. If it's your first time in the live chat, there's a lot of people that come every week. So it's been really fun. We kind of get to know each other. We get to talk about stuff. And then when we're done with the live stream, you're all welcome to go back on over to the Quality Crafts Facebook group and hang out there as well. And sometimes we do Skyping afterwards. So always look for in the group for a little a Skype invitation. So if you're a person who does Skype, you get to know people in the group even better, and that's super fun. And Michelle says, go ahead and tell everyone, type in where you're from so we can get an idea. Do we have people from around the world, or are we kind of in the U.S. tonight? We do have people around the world that come, so that's really fun. It's really interesting to see where everyone is at. Hey, Kelly. Destiny is from Canada. It'll take just a little bit of lag time for everyone to get showing up, and then I'll read off a few of the places that people are from as we get in. I'm from Wisconsin, if you guys didn't already know. Mr. Merle made it. Hearts for you. Yay. Pennsylvania, Oklahoma, Nebraska, IND, I'm guessing that's Indiana, Texas, California. Mickey says she's from Farmville. That's funny. I'm laughing because I'm guessing, I don't know if you're talking about a game or you're talking about something else, but that's funny. Oh, just below me. Cool. Iowa? Oh, another one from California? Minnesota? Indiana? Tennessee? Wow. All sorts of places. Oh, Donna Joyce from England. Welcome. Destiny Scott wants to know, what am I drinking tonight? I am drinking green tea. Here you go. This is what I am drinking. Actually, it's kind of a mix of two different teas. This one and another one, but you can see that on the side of my cup I've got little pieces of lemon stuck there. I actually poured real lemon juice into it as well. Another Canada. Wow, cool. Oh, hey, Sandy and hubby Robert. They're from Florida. We've got someone from Kansas. Hi, Kay. Our town was used to film the latest Superman movie. We were Smallville. It's all farmland around me. Cool, Mickey. Where I grew up, there was a lot of farmland too. Michelle's reminding us that if your Facebook name is different than your YouTube name, let us know so that we can pick a winner tonight. So somebody is going to win tonight. I always forget to say that. Thursday is winner night. So whatever kind of creations we come up with tonight, you get to pick what your favorite is if you're the winner. I do not remember who was the winner last week, so forgive me. Um, I just don't know if I forgot to put it in. Like I run extensive lists of everything everywhere, and I don't know if I just spaced out putting the name in there and sent it out, or I don't know. I'm hoping that the moderators can help me with that. But private message me later, and we'll take care of that. FB Granny Free. All right, 2 more minutes, and we're gonna get a roll here. Get on a roll. Make some fun stuff. Create things with borders. We've got more people coming in, so I'm glad I waited just a few more minutes. Frances Taylor says, "Where can we get our tools from and products?" She's in Ontario. Specifically, products and tools that you can get while you're in Canada. I am not familiar. I know that I don't ship to Canada only because the price I would have to charge somebody in Canada to ship them something that only costs a couple dollars would be exorbitant. So I just don't. Oh, Wendy B's from Queensland, Australia. Don't forget to thumbs up the videos too. I always forget to say that because we're live, but it does make a difference. So if you're enjoying this kind of content, that the more thumbs up on something that something gets, the more that I know that that's the type you really like to see, and then I can make more content like that. Oh, okay, Sandy Marino won last week. Thanks, Sandy. I am so sorry. I apologize. I'm usually on top of those things, but I just spaced it out. Oh, Naomi Stratton, yay, hearts for you. She made it. I don't know, sometimes lives are just hard for people to get into. Maybe we'll have to have a conversation sometime about whether I should change these times up a little bit once summer comes and I have a little bit more free time on my hands. So let's get started at 6:05. I'm going to go through first the types of borders I have and the way that I remember what kind of borders I have. And that is, I'm just going to make this a little bit wider, is that I took all the borders that I had and I glued them down on black paper so that I could find them, so that when I go and look, I can say, oh, this is what I have. So if you want to take on a project like this, you can put all your punches, borders, and whatnot, so you can remember what they are. Now, so I remember what these are, on the bottom I wrote large Martha Stewart. So that way if I forget, I can go, oh, that's the large Martha Stewart ones, and that's where I can look for them. So here's another one. Here are a couple more different borders. And then I've got some other little smaller punches. This one actually has some little stars on it. This one's very hard to punch, so I put on there very hard so that I remember. Then there's Fiskars. There's this one that folds over and makes a leaf. Now, I have all these things, but being able to find them is another story sometimes. Need help with border punches, they never cut right. Okay, so if you guys ask me specific questions, I'll try to show you a little bit about how borders cut. Um, this one cuts out a flower, but not all the way, so the little, if I can get some of them up for you, the little petals come up. That's another one. And then this is another corner punch, and this one is a butterfly punch where the wings can come up if you want. Right here. So let me just set this down so you guys can get a little gander at the whole thing. There's some robots. This one is supposed to create a flower. Okay, so if there's anything on here in particular you want to see, you may want to write it down and then put it out in bold letters so that I can make a note of it to add that on. Let me get a piece of note paper here so I don't forget the ones that you want to see. Mr. Merle has a question. I wonder if anyone can help him. He says, I recently bought the Samsung Gear VR, and it was curious to me if it's at all possible to card craft and record yourself while using a VR. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what a VR is. I don't use my phone as technology really for much anything except for texting and calling. I use two different, oh yay! Lady Innominate is here, otherwise known as Christy. The one to make a flower, Sandy says. So let me put that one down. The Dimensional Dahlia. I use two different webcams and then a setup through the open broadcast software that I learned from Lady Innominate, who you see on here. Oh, I know nothing about the virtual reality stuff. Talk to my husband. He's got the new, put the helmet on and see everything in virtual reality. It's wild. If you ever get a chance, super fun. Here's some more smaller borders. I'll just bring them up just a little bit so that you can see them. I really like this one with the little flowers. I don't know, it looks really cool. Leaves and all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, there are just tons of borders that you could get around. Most of mine I got from either Michael's, Joann's, Tuesday Morning, or garage sales. So these aren't necessarily borders, but they can be used as such, and we're going to get into some of that, I hope. Before we run out of time, we'll do some of that. It's going to be really cool. We're going to be using some of these things to create borders, to create faux borders. So if you don't have them, we're going to create some by hand too. I always want to include my friends that don't have a lot of the technology and a lot of the more expensive tools. Oh, here's a whole bunch more. These are the skittier ones, the smaller ones. Lisa Carver's got a good tip. She sharpens her punches by punching aluminum foil, and then lubricates them by punching wax paper, to make them a little bit smoother as a punch. Here's a couple that I have that actually will cut circles for you. I got these at a convention at some point. It will cut a straight line, but then if you keep turning your paper, it will cut the circle. These are tricky. Ooh, these are tricky. They look cool, but they're fun to use. Here's another whole bunch of smaller borders. Now, some of them cut out a border like this where you've got this long, thick, like rectangle on the bottom with the fun little pattern on top. And there are some borders that actually literally cut this out. And this little piece looks like little leaves, just falls out, and that's what you get is just that border. So it just depends, on what you're looking for. Here's another one that it just cuts out this flower, and that's what you have left. So if you cut the flower out of that, who was talking about making your own background paper of a rainbowy watercolor background paper? You could get rainbowy watercolor little flowers. That'd be fun. Okay, some more sizes of things that I have. We worked with these flowers the other day. I got a lot of different dots, circles, squares, and that. And then here are a couple of other Halloween kind of things. I really, really like this one. I've used this border a lot for different things. A few more different kind of punches and things that you can get. And we're back to the one that I started with. So the title is Exploring Borders. We're not just going to explore how to punch out borders, but we're going to explore different kinds of borders and different ways to make borders, especially if you don't have these fancy punches and stuff. I'm going to show you a few different ways that you can create things that don't require a lot of tools. And yes, the Cricut and the Silhouette Cameo on that can all cut borders, so that's another thing that you can do. Let me move these out of the way. Back where they're supposed to be so I don't lose them, right guys? And somebody wanted to see the dahlia, so I'm just going to grab that real quick because that's one that I do not have right next to me. And hopefully I can find it. I do not see it right offhand here. Where is that guy? I got a lot of them, so it might take a little bit of looking. Let's see. Yeah. There it is. Okay. So here's the dimensional dahlia. And this one is supposed to create a flower when you roll it up. We will give this a shot and see what we get, okay? I'm just going to do it on white for now because we can use some magical sprays later. That'd be really fun. And somebody wanted to know how to do punching. So I'm going to go do this one real slow at first. So the first thing you want to do is just punch it anywhere. I mean, some people like to start on the edge of their paper. Some people like to start in the middle. I'm just not sure if I want to be out or in close. I prefer to start kind of in the middle. Make sure that your paper is flat against these ridges on the bottom here. That's going to be important so that your punches don't go sideways or kittywampus. You want to make sure that that is down on the bottom, and then squeeze the punch, of course, and then slide it over a couple. This one has it printed right here, and that's like pretty universal at this point. A lot of them have that. So all you're going to do is just make sure that this lines up perfectly with the next one. And then once that lines up, you still want to make sure that these two pieces of paper are down against this bottom part here, because if you don't, it's going to start going up. Okay, so then all you do is you keep sliding to the left or to the right, matching them up exactly, making sure your paper is steadily against this bottom part, and just keep punching as you go across. Now I've got one more little spot, but I want to stop here for just a second because this is another way you can use borders on your projects. So now that I've got this, like let's say I didn't go quite that many, but I've got an edge here. I can put that on the top of a card like that, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean here. That was a little bit long because I kept going. But let's say I had this one here. Same idea, only I cut around the whole thing. And now I have a piece of a border that can go right on top of a card. And if I were to punch this one out in like a pink and put it right next to it, it would make a really cool, unique background for an Easter card. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one out before I finish it off. Let me know if you didn't get the gist of that, or if you want me to show you more about how to specifically use it. But I'm going to cut this one out and show you what I mean. Let's say I wanted to use this on a big long card. I might put it right, match up the side of this, the width, so it looks even on both sides, and just cut this out and use it on a card. And this is what I mean by exploring borders. Like, you can do a lot of different things with borders. Just trust your creativity and just, use your things in any kind of way that you can see to. So like that is what I'm talking about. Now I can use that as an element, and if I only did a couple of them, I could have used it as a little shorter element. So let's see if this will actually fit in here yet. I'm not sure if I cut this too, if I put this right in here. Okay, kind of in the middle. Punches are not friendly for people who have arthritis and hand pain, just so you know. You might want to decide what kind of punch you want to get so that it's easier on your hand. But here's one where I just did one row, one punch, and I'm going to go ahead and trim around that. Okay, and so now I've got one little thing, and I could color this, or I could spray it, or I could do anything that I wanted with it. And then I should have made some colored borders. There we go. Let's say this was on my card. I could put that behind it, and I could have that color on a card. Now, if you want it to pop out, maybe you want to punch this on black paper, and that would be really cool too. So here's a couple of them. If we can get them here, and there was another one. Now this one, you guys are probably saying, well, where did you get that one, Jen? I'm going to show you. I don't have very many of these because they're expensive, and I just never really saw a lot of them. But these are the square punches. And this is the one, I did have this showing on the one that I showed you, but this will punch in the middle of a page. But you have to do your own lining up. So when I did this one, I punched it, and then I moved it up until I could see the bottom of these. It's really hard to explain, but the bottom part of these right here as it goes up. So punched this one, right? And then I moved it up until that bottom, I could see it through these little holes here, and they lined up. And then I punched again, that kind of thing, as I went. So you just kind of have to find landmarks when you do this sort of thing, because if you're going to use it in a purpose that it wasn't specifically intended for, if that makes sense. This one does have little grids on it, so you can use the grids to follow your paper as well. So let's say, but if I follow the grid on the side here, then it's going to cut on the edge of my paper. But I just want to show you it. So let's just do one in the middle. I'm going to line this right up with the top of that silver, so it's kind of in the middle. And this one's super hard to punch. I have to stand up and push down. It's like CPR, man. And there you have it, and all the little pieces fall out on the bottom. And then what I do is I just slit it up until those two matched at the top. It's really hard for you guys to see, but there's like the end of it, and then I put it back on again and punched it again. Yeah, these are not my favorite. They are really hard to punch. But just for sake of showing you guys, I'm going to finish up just one last one. And I'm just looking at this, making sure this lines up here. Looks pretty good. This one has magnets, so you don't have to line it up real hard. But, man, getting it punched is something else. I don't mind it when I'm home by myself. But when I'm trying to do a demonstration, I don't want to be honking on a tool trying to get something to work out. So that's where I got that yellow one from. And I just cut around it like we did the last ones. So that's that one. Okay, another thing that I wanted to show you. Now this, I prepared this ahead of time, but if you want to know how I did it, all I did was use one of my stencils. I put the stencil down. I drew around it, and I just simply cut it out. So here's another way to use your border punches, or your punches in general. Now this isn't a border punch, but I really, really like these. I like the look of these. So I punched a bunch out in green. And borders don't always necessarily go straight across something, right? They might go around it. So what I want to do then is just put these where I think that they look good and create my own circle border, even though I don't have one. I need a little short one here. And you can overlap these, and you can put a whole bunch of them on there, and you can make your own circle like that. So while I have these here, in case somebody wins, I'm going to glue these on. Okay, so this would be a really fun one to highlight an image. You have an image showing through there. Or maybe you have your sentiment in there and you want to highlight a sentiment in the circle. Whatever kind of thing that you're working on that you want to show off, you know. I went to the dentist today. That's always fun. How many of you guys like the dentist? I want to see how many people say, how many people come in and say that they like the dentist or don't like the dentist. I'm just curious. I'm guessing more of us don't like them than do like them. I have to have a lot of you guys know I'm missing a front tooth, and that was due to having an infection and having to have it removed. So I'm getting an implant. Can you say scared out of my mind? I do not want to have this done, but I don't want to be using this removable retainer that I have the rest of my life either. So that really, I really think that's so cute. I wonder if I could just pull out a card here real quick and show you what I'm talking about. So let's say I had this card and I wanted to highlight him. I would stamp him. Whoa, my stuff's sliding all over the place. I would stamp him and then I would like float this guy above him. Okay. I can show you guys how I store my punches in another video, but not here, because if I lift up all, I have everything like stationary, the cameras, and if I move them around, we'll never get back to where we are right now. But that is a really fun way to use your borders, or actually creating your own border. Yay! Nobody likes a dentist. It's always so painful when you go. Why does everything have to hurt so much? I have them actually use numbing cream when they clean my teeth now, because I just can't take it. So let's back out here a bit and do a couple more fun things. Somebody else said that they used, when I posted the reminder for today, somebody else said that they used this punch that looks like this. Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff on here, like I can't get out my things now. They had one like this, but very, very small. And they used these like shell type things to put in behind, to make the circle from behind, if you get what I'm saying. So I guess you could do that. These are kind of big, but you could put these like all the way around, right? But otherwise, there's another thing you could do, which I was looking at before I started here, is if you put that up like that behind there, you could put a sentiment right here. You wouldn't see all this pink. All this would be gone, right? You could put a sentiment there and get a little pink shell behind it, and that would be really cute too. I mean, gosh, the sky's the limit. You could use these in any way, shape, or form that you want. It's just totally fun. I have another idea. And I'm going to take some different color papers here. I'm going to include the pink too, I think. So I've got a bunch of different color papers here. And I'm going to use my border punch. Now, if you don't have a border punch like this, no, word window punch, I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say. If you don't have punches like this, then you go ahead and freehand this kind of a thing, but you can still do the same idea. So I'm going to punch like just a couple out of each one. Yeah, all of these ideas you could use with shaker cards or regular cards or window cards. Um, Whatever you guys are working with. So I'm hoping that maybe today you'll find another new favorite technique that you can use on something else that you're working on. So this is not just limited to card making. You can use these on these ideas for scrapbooking or Project Life or what's that thing? What was that other thing? Oh, the planners and stuff. Like if you want to create a small planner, you just kind of have to do it on a teeny tinier scale. So these little cutouts that I made, I thought would make a really super fun little border. And so all I'm going to do is just glue these on where I think they would look cute along the edge and create my own border. You can put them all the way to the edge, or you could leave a little white space. I'm just going to put mine all the way to the edge for this point. And I'm going to bump them right up against each other. And put a pink one at the bottom. Now, you don't have to worry if they hang off the edge, because if they hang off the edge, then you just cut them off. Or you can overlap them. So here I'm just going to grab the yellow one and overlap it. Okay, so green, blue, pink, yellow, and we'll just keep going in that order all the way around. Pocket letters. Yes, this will be another fun little thing to do with pocket letters. Creating your own little borders and being creative. Now, we're not going to stop there. We're going to also be drawing some borders as well. So if you really don't have any tools and stuff, we're going to go ahead and do that. Now this one falls off the edge. Whoops, I tilted it. You just cut it off. That way we still have this little piece that we can add on if we need it. So what comes after blue is pink. So if you're a super seasoned crafter, right, you might be like, well, I kind of already done all this kind of thing. Then you guys should be the ones that come up with uber creative, super new and unique things that we haven't seen using your tools. And I would love to see you guys do this technique and use it over at Quality Crafts so I can see what you guys are creating. Because that would be fun. I might not have enough to cover this. And after green comes blue, right? And we have this little piece of blue, so I'm just going to use that little piece of blue and put it right there. So no worries that I didn't have enough, right? And then after blue comes pink. Oh, I am going to have enough. This one's going to be really cute. I fill my glue bottle with Aleene's Tacky Glue. And that's it. That's the only glue I use in that. You can use their regular glue or the Turbo Tacky, whatever you have on hand. And then I add in like 10 or 12, 15 drops of water just to make sure that it's going to come out the way I want it to. So I don't have to squeeze so hard and hurt my hand. So after yellow comes green, but I'm already here and I have a little blue left, so I'm just going to use blue as the last one. And it's over the edge, so I'm just going to cut it off. Look at that. It's really cute. This would be really fun even on an envelope. So we decorate our cards and we take all this time to make our cards really pretty, and then we send it in a regular looking envelope. Well, you can decorate your envelopes as well. So we'll be doing a little bit of that today. I've got just some regular envelopes that I purchased. I didn't create these. So that would totally look really cute on an envelope. You could just put it right on there. And this one would have a little white border, and that's really fun too. I am using Aleene's Tacky Glue on the brown bottle. I don't have one on hand because I dumped all the rest of it in there. Oh, maybe I have a little one. Yeah, I do. Hold on. So it's the original in this brownish goldish bottle with the purple. Aleene's Original Tacky Glue. Okay, that's the kind that I use. And so let's get to some of these too. Were there any other of the punches that you really were like, I desperately wanted to see that one, just so I don't miss anybody who's new or new to crafting that really wanted to see one of them, or if I'm missing some kind of a technique that you wanted to know how to do. Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight. I missed the 3 cents comment. What about the 3 cents? Do you ladies know you can mail flat cards for 3 cents? Yeah, I don't know. Never heard of that. So I'm just going to continue with this one. I'm going to pull out a couple of markers. This one is a regular fine point Sharpie, which probably some of you have. There we go, ultra fine point Sharpie. There's the tip. And that is relatively small, but I also have a micro pen that I want to pull out. I really thought I had left it sitting here on purpose, and now I don't see it. Oh, I know why. Because I use it also in my... I use this, I call it a micro pen. It's a zig pen, but it's really, really teeny tiny tipped. Okay, even smaller than the fine point of the Sharpie. I like to use that as well. So if we're going to do the inside of an envelope and you're worried about the color bleeding through, go ahead and take a piece of cardstock about the size of your envelope or the size of an A2 card, whatever, and put it inside. And that way, if it bleeds through, it's going to most likely bleed through onto that cardstock and not get onto the front of your envelope. Otherwise, if you're just doing the front of the envelope, you don't have to worry about it. You can just put it down and draw on it. And so you can do any kind of borders. You can, even if you're mailing it, if you wanted to, if you could glue it flat enough so that things weren't going to get caught, you could glue things on your envelope. But drawing on it is always a really easy thing to do too. And drawing your borders on won't make your letter heavier. So I'm just going to do a real simple one where I kind of eyeball and judge where the center of my envelope is and put a heart, and then just do a little squiggly line from one side to the other here like this, and then maybe put a little heart in each corner. Okay, something just real simple. You don't have to get crazy. Maybe I need to bring you in a little bit. That's kind of hard to see. There we go. I'll do the same on the top then. I'm just kind of judge with my eyeball like where that center is. And it's going to get covered up by a stamp, but that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and create it anyway because we want to make sure that it kind of evens out on each side. So then there'd be a heart on each side here. Okay, and that way you have plenty of space to put your address. If you've got a return address sticker, you can just go ahead and put it right over that. And then we can add little things down the side here. So let's say maybe I just want to add another heart in the center. And then I'm just going to add like 3 little sprouts. I mean, you can go ahead and look on Pinterest and everything for ideas to do this. There are billions and billions. Yep, as long as your address is able to be clearly read, you can decorate like crazy. So I'm going to just grab some colored pencils. You can use markers and stuff too, but I'm just going to grab these because they're nearby. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of color. So I'll color the hearts a little pink. And these are really fun for holiday times or birthdays or Christmas. You can put little Christmas lights and little Christmas trees and stuff like that. If you know your friend's birthday and you know their favorite color, you could decorate in their favorite color. Or you could put little cupcakes all the way around it. Yep, and people also go out of their way to paint and do all kinds of crazy things to envelopes, and it's super, super fun to do. That would be another thing that would be really fun to do sometime. So there's a little bit of color. And then I could still fit that. And if you know, if I'm doing a return envelope or return address and I don't want to mess up the front, I can always flip it over and put my return address on the back. Or include it in the letter. If you don't want to put it on the outside, that's no big deal. So let's do another one. I'm going to use a little bit darker of one. That would be fun too. So Michelle said you could use punches as a stencil and spray them with the color. That'd be really fun. I don't know if there's a plane going over. It sounds like somebody plowing the road, but we haven't had any snow recently, so okay. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do some little circles, and I'm just eyeballing this. And then I'm going to try to get, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, dot, dot, dot. So they're the same on both sides. That's pretty cool. I could make them look like bubbles by giving them little shiny marks too. That'd be fun. Then I could color them a light blue. That idea came from that card that we made the other day with the dog on it. I mean, gosh, the sky's the limit, guys. Whatever. I guess necessity is always a breeder of creativity, because when you've got to come up with something and you already have a theme, let's say I was doing a birthday card, I already know what my theme is, and so it would make it easier for me to just pull something from the sky, like I would do cupcakes and balloons. So let's do another one. You could even do a border just down one side. Let's do that. So this one, I'm just going to make this one kind of a cupcake. And then I could add little sprinkles and a little something on there. And some of you guys are probably more talented at drawing. Maybe some of you guys not so talented at drawing. So you decide where your comfort zone is and how you want to add things to yours. You can do little banners. Like I said, during Christmas time, you can do all kinds of fun little things like Christmas lights and trees and little scenery things and little snowmen and snow hills and that kind of thing. Snowflakes. See what I mean? Like when you have an idea already, then it makes the little teeny tiny borders that you're adding just that much easier to come up with. So some little cupcakes. And then these don't have to be crazy. They don't have to be colored, you know, super, super grand, because the envelope, of course, is going to get thrown away. And if you're lucky, they'll keep your card. So I'm going to add just a little bit of shading. What am I getting the bump on? Do I have my piece of paper in there yet? No, I don't. This is the other side of my envelope. And then I think I'm going to color these a couple of different colors. So maybe this one's yellow. And a blue. And a pink. That one's really cute. That's fun. Becca, a welcome spring card would be fun with a melting snowman. That would be fun. That would be funny. Alrighty, how much time we got? We got about 15 minutes left. So one more chance. Anybody, were there other punches that you guys wanted to see, or should I just keep playing around with other things? Because there's another thing that I wanted to show you. Using just circles, which I think a lot of people have. One with circles and then one with circles and this guy right here that I wanted to do. Like, there are so many things. I can make a whole series just on making borders. I swear. Because there's just so many that you can do. So this is what I was thinking. To make a faux border, kind of like you can create in Silhouette Studio or Cricut. A lot of times they have things that look kind of like this. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. You're able to what's called weld different shapes together. Well, we can weld them together just by gluing them together, just like this. So in the paint program or the whatever kind of program you're using, man, it is so loud out there. I wonder what the heck that is. Sounds like a thunderstorm. Maybe we're actually having thunder. Oh yeah. That's gotta be what it is. So they put them on the edge like this, right? And if they hang over, no big deal, because we're gonna cut those off. Like that. Oh yeah, here comes the rain. Now I can hear it. Thought I was going crazy for a minute. A balloon bouquet. You want to see me draw a balloon bouquet or create one out of paper? Yes, it's thunder. Does somebody live near me? Anyway, okay, I'm going to glue these on and show you what I'm talking about. Now, because it's all white, you can't really tell that it's glued onto white, right? So that's kind of like the whole fun of it. It was supposed to rain today and it never did, so I guess now's the time. I love to sleep when it's thundering out. Oh my gosh. Best time to sleep ever. So I'm just going to put glue on half of each. I guess I'm going to call these flowers. Okay, and try to line them up. I mean, if you want to be specific about it, you can do that. But just for today's sake, line them up, you know, as best you can. And then we're going to add dots to this to make them look like flowers. Wow, it's pouring. Okay, now I just gave myself a thought here. Now, because I didn't cut this down, if you want this to be the same size as a card front, okay, you're going to want to line up your flowers with the edge of a card. I could have done that to make sure they were all lined up too. Flip it over and that's where you're going to want to cut. You're going to want to cut this bit off so that when you put it on a card, you can when you put it on a card, you can still see all the flowers, is what I'm saying. And then it's the same size as an A2 size card. So I'm going to put this down here. And I'm going to go ahead and just cut this down. So it's still an A2 size. Wow, can you guys hear that? I hope we don't lose connection. Tonight would be the night to lose connection, right? So let's say this was put together as a card, right? It's going to open up like that. And you're going to see that coming off the edge. But let me make that even a little clearer. Okay. So if you put it on now, you can see what I'm talking about. It looks like you have that fun little border. Okay, and then you're going to want to cut off the edges, of course. So there's just a couple of little bumps that hang off the edge. I'm just going to cut those straight off. So when you put it together on your card, all right, it's going to look like that. It's going to look like one of those fun, fancy borders that they create using the machines and stuff. And if you want to, you can go ahead and add a circle center to them, which is something that I thought would be really cute. I'm going to make mine all pink, just because I like pink. 1, 2, 3, 4, and go ahead and glue those down. A balloon bouquet out of punched paper. The balloon bouquet punch. I'm going to go back through my punches and see what you're talking about, because I probably haven't used it in eons. And these are very, very basic ideas, because the gist of my tutorials is always to give you ideas and inspiration so that you can take off with your stuff and go, oh my gosh, I have 1,000 other new ideas I want to do with that stuff. Because you don't always have to go out and buy the latest and greatest, though we all thoroughly enjoy that. I know I do. But if you play with what you have, you can come up with some pretty fabulous stuff. So that's really cute. Balloon bouquet is a Stampin' Up! Punch. So yeah, if you didn't see it on my on my punch papers, then I don't have it. Balloon bouquet is a stamp. I don't think I have that. Beck says you could also use a small circle hand punch and punch a circle out of each scallop. Oh, that's a fun idea. Uh-oh. I locked up. One of my cameras locked up. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep going so long as it says that I'm live, but I guess my face on my camera is not moving anymore. I don't know if it's going to cut through all these sheets of paper, though, but let me try it. I need a smaller circle. Okay. Let's just see if we can punch all the way through these. Oh, it came back. Nope, I can't punch all the way through that. But if I could, that'd be fun. You punch a hole in these. You can also punch little holes in each one of these little things too. And that looks really cool. I can't find my little punchy tool that does that off the top of my head. But I do have the circle punch. Like this tiny circle punch. And that probably won't go through either. Oh yeah, it does. Look at that. That works. Well, now that I did one, I feel like I kind of have to do them all that way. So that's cool. Gosh, there's just so many things you could do with these things. I could play with borders and do this kind of thing all day long. So I think we've decided that, yeah, but I don't have the little teeny tiny ones. I don't have the teeny tiny holes to do the edges. I think that's what you're talking about. So like, I think this is what you're saying. So like if you did one of these, you could take the circle punch and you could do each one of those little holes, right? Only I can't because this punch is way too big. But you could go all the way around it. You could make it a pretty delicate looking thing if you have enough, if you have the smallest punches. Is that what you meant? The exposed edges? Anyway, sometimes I try and sometimes I get what you guys are saying and sometimes I just go brain dead. I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying. Sometimes it's really hard for me if I don't see something. I'm a visual learner, which is why I think doing tutorials for other people visually is easier for me. So when people are trying to explain stuff to me, like I almost have to see it to understand it. But I'm doing the best I can to keep up with you guys. We've got about 9 minutes left. Oh my gosh, use a needle? Yeah, we could use a needle. That would work. You could do all kinds of needlework, that kind of a thing for borders too. Now that you're speaking of that, here's another idea for a border, and you don't even need special tools for this. if you've got pins or needles laying around your house, but I'm going to use this tool just because I have it. They make tools like this where you don't have to eyeball it. You can actually physically take one of these plastic things that shows you exactly where to put the holes. So you get a nice straight hole punch. And you just put that on there and line it up. And then you just punch all the holes. It takes some time, but it ends up looking really cool. I'll just do about, I don't know, almost all the way across here just so you can get a good look at it. So then you get that look, that punch look. That's really cool. That would be fun if you're making your own like little stamps or something and you do the border on the stamp. That would be really fun. Piercing tool, yes, that's what I have here. You could use a pin though. I just think that the piercing tool is a little bit wider. I wonder if you could use a paper clip since I just have one here. Wow, it's really thundering here. Let's try a paper clip. Will a paper clip work if you don't have any tools? Look at that. It totally will. So don't tell me you can't do this, guys. You've got paper clips laying around. I know you do. Just use your paper clip. Check it out. I'm just going to push through. You don't get as clean of a hole as you do unless your paper clip's real sharp. But that works. That's a really fun idea. This tool right here, I think this is Stampin' Up. Yeah. This is a Stampin' Up set that they sell. It comes with these two little gridded things and your squishy mat and the needle. Not this other stuff. I mean the paper clip and the pencil and all that. I just, and some pins. I just have those laying in here. A dime, you know, random things. Okay. Oh, the dahlia. I didn't even finish doing that for you guys. Silly me. Where did that dahlia go? I don't know. Let's do yellow. I may have to splice some of these together. I can't believe I didn't finish making the dahlia for you. We got time. Let's finish it up. Now, I was kind of what do I want to say? Sarcastic when I said this was supposed to make a flower, because I don't do the flower simply because I don't like the way it turns out. But I'm going to attempt one for you. This got stuck in here, so let's just pull this out. Let's see. I'm going to need more than that, so I might have to glue these guys together. Paper got stuck. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's see if that's enough. That may be enough, at least to give you the gist of it. There's a whole bunch of these. This isn't the only one. There's a whole bunch of these. Let me pull my garbage can just right over here. There's so much stuff. I would suggest doing that over a garbage can just because it makes it so much easier. But I'm going to connect these by, do you see this extra one that got kind of cut off here? I'm going to go ahead and just put some glue on that one and glue it so that it goes on to the top of this other one. And that way it's still going to go straight across here. I didn't do a really great job punching, so you're going to notice a little bit of anomalies there, but that's okay. And then this is just supposed to roll up and create a flower. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I'm going to use my reverse tweezer so that when I squeeze it opens, and when I let go it holds it for me. And then we're just going to go ahead and roll it. Oh, thanks, Kelly. Kelly went and looked it up for us. She said Stampin' Up! No longer does the piercing kit, but they do sell the piercing tool on its own. I can't see any reason why. Maybe there may be another place that sells that kit. Okay, I'm going to glue this down. I got all the way to the end. This is probably not enough. Whoo, listen to it rain. It almost sounds like hail. So we're coming to the end. I'm going to do a review of everything that we've covered today. And there's so much more. So if this is something you truly like, you like to watch, you like to learn, give me a big thumbs up on this. And then I will make some more videos of different kind of borders and things. So then all you do is you just kind of like peel back these, I guess what you call petals. Okay. And you just peel them back, and it's supposed to create a flower. Holy man. I'm going to have fun listening to that rain when I'm done talking to you guys. I would suggest putting some hot glue on the bottom, though, because as I'm holding it, it's, I'm just going to give this a turn, too, because they're not all going different directions. But do you see? That's what it's supposed to do. And so I would put some hot glue on the bottom, because otherwise it's just going to... Do you see how it comes up? It's just going to come up and fall apart on you if you want it to all stay together. This is not my favorite. It could be fun. There are different uses that you could do this for. You could cut these petals off. I kind of feel like the beginning kind of went around, but then, you know, I didn't have enough of them. As you go around, they spread themselves out a little bit more. Do you see that? So that's pretty cool. So let's go back what we did. We talked about doing the stitched border, right? We talked about using your punches or cutouts on the edges of paper to create that faux put together look that you can get from a lot of the ones that you purchase or create in the software. And then not just straight borders, but round borders, square borders, oval borders. Using your punches to create your own borders, something that's different that maybe you hadn't thought of before. So this was just a punch, and all we did was punch it out. We're going to use it as is. Now we could spray this, or we could add color to it. We could change it. We could use Spectrum Noir markers or any kind of alcohol or colored markers to color this to match our project, and then we could put it on. Here's another one that's just a little bit longer, and I could cut this whole thing off, and I could use just those as a border if I wanted to put it down on something, and that would be cute too. And then we used a few other punches to actually create a literal border. Oh, sewing machines. I've always wanted to do that sewing. Sewing on cards looks really cool, guys, if you get a chance to try it. And then we talked about some other ones that you can do in the middle. So you could use them in the middle like this and cut them out like this and put them on top of a card. Or you could use them as is, like this is my card front, and I'm just going to back it on a card front that's yellow, and then just the yellow shines through. That kind of a thing. Another thing we could do, which we didn't cover today, but I thought would be super fun, is if you have lots of different kinds of glitters like these, I always thought that would be super fun to do a glitter border, or more specifically like one of these circle ones, and do that glitter all the way around the border. So that might be something that I do in the future. That would be really, I think it's just look really elegant depending on what you put in there. And wow, that took us a whole hour. And there's so many more things that we could do, so that would really be cool to make another one if you guys are up for it. Let me just make a couple of last reminders. Don't forget to go over to Quality Crafts on Facebook. We'd love to have you. No commitment, no drama. We know that life is busy and that a lot of us have sicknesses and health issues and stuff, but that doesn't stop us from creating art, because that's what some of us live for. Many of us live for. Art is a way for you to express yourself, and it's a way for de-stressing from the day, or just, you know, letting all those worries go for a minute while you focus on something that comes from your soul, and it's really fun. You can do that over at Quality Crafts whenever the mood strikes. There's no participation police. Nobody's going to come and be like, you didn't participate, so we're booting you out. We do not do that there. We would like everyone to join us. Also, you can find me on, Facebook, uh, Pinterest, Twitter, and also on Patreon. So if you'd like to support what I'm doing here, then I would love to see you on Patreon. Pledges start at just $1 a month. If you're on my YouTube channel and you're confused by that, Patreon is above and beyond for people who really want to support me. It's not necessary. My videos, like what you're watching today, have always been, are, and always will be free to anybody and everybody. And that is my mission, is to reach as many people as I can, to make art fun, interesting, and accessible to everyone from beginner through advanced. So I'm glad that you guys joined me today, and I can't wait to see you guys next video.